Hello, my name is Darius Walton, and in this presentation, I will analyze an educational organization through the lens of leadership, power, and ethics. Leadership, power, and ethical responsibility in educational settings. All right, the organizational context is a secondary school setting, specifically within an in-school suspension or ISS classroom. In this environment, leadership is hierarchical, with administrators setting expectations and teachers having to implement them. Decision making is primarily top down, and disciplinary practices emphasize compliance, structure, and risk management. Teachers in ISS settings often balance academic support with behavioral management, operating within constraints shaped by organizational norms. Power in this environment is both formal and cultural. Administrators hold authority, but dominant norms such as prioritizing control and efficiency also shape expectations. These norms are rooted in the historical structure of education, which has not always served marginalized populations equitably. As a result, disciplinary systems often reflect these patterns, reinforcing compliance based approaches rather than culturally responsive or restorative practices. Reflect the historic structure of education in marginalizing diverse learners. These power dynamics produce unequal outcomes. Students from marginalized backgrounds are more likely to be placed in these restrictive settings like ISS, which subsequently limits their access to instruction and opportunities. So, resource allocation is also another thing that reflects this inequality. Programs focused on discipline often provide fewer resources than enrichment programs. Supports this, showing that students from disadvantaged backgrounds often have reduced access to high quality educational resources, which contributes to ongoing inequities in outcomes. These patterns demonstrate how organizational decisions can unintentionally reinforce inequality. Leaders in this context face several significant and ethical responsibilities. They must balance maintaining order with ensuring fairness and opportunity. Ethical tensions arise between efficiency and equity, as well as accountability and student support. Ethical leadership requires moving beyond rigid enforcement and considering the broader impact of decisions on marginalized students and staff. To address these challenges, leaders can implement several practical actions. First, integrating restorative practices into disciplinary settings can shift the focus from punishment to growth automatically. Secondly, leaders can use data to identify disparities and make informed decisions for discipline. Third, providing professional development on cultural responsiveness can reshape an entire organization's norms. Finally, improving resource allocation in disciplinary settings can ensure students receive meaningful academic and emotional support. In all, this all matters because leadership decisions within educational systems significantly shape equity, opportunity, and outcomes. By encouraging the influence of power and organizational norms, leaders can take intentional actions to promote fairness and effectiveness. Ethical leadership is not only a responsibility, but a necessity for creating sustainable and equitable educational environments. Thank you.